You know what, Australia? Every single one of us should be marching on August 31st all over Australia. If you want to put Australians first, then you should go to that march, because we've had enough of seeing international people coming in here, getting paid by our taxpayers' money to live here, to study here. They get our rentals, they get our jobs, and I've got nothing against immigration if it's controlled and if it's managed properly. All the while, every single weekend, we have thousands and thousands of people protesting for another country across the other side of the world that no one cares that Australia is even protesting for. Nothing is going to change in those countries because Australians are protesting. And then at the same events, they burn the Australian flag, and it's terrible. So that is why as many of us need to go on August 31st, because we need to show them that there are more of us that will protect this country from people like them.
31st of August, what the f*** are you doing, Australia? Australia should be strong, safe and united, and nobody disagrees with that. Protecting the Aussie lifestyle does matter. Housing, healthcare and jobs should always be secured for Australians first. And wanting to put Australia first is not wrong. But governments don't listen to shouting. Look at every major protest in the last decade. Anti-lockdown rallies, climate change rallies, anti-war rallies. How many of them actually forced a new policy? Zero. This is the political equivalent of yelling at the TV. And once an extremist group joins that rally, it doesn't matter if you're there peacefully, you're all painted with the same brush. And the only person that's going to win out of this is the media. They're going to paint you as race and not concerned Australians. And all this does is help the government. It gives the opportunity to politicians to bring out tougher laws, bans and more control. If you really love this country, you'd be building solutions, not chanting slogans. Protesting feels patriotic, but it's just lazy activism. If it starts raining, watch how many people disappear. Real change is going to happen in Parliament, not the street. Flood the MPs with calls and emails, with data and analytics, and help Australians directly by starting community projects. Look, I'm just saying to be careful, because extremists only need one flag to stain an entire march. And cameras don't show peaceful faces, they show chaos. Police won't be there to listen, they're going to be there to control. And one ugly moment is going to ruin 1,000 good intentions.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing very great whenever you are watching us from, be it Australia, be it America, be it the United Kingdom, be it the diaspora. I hope you are proceeding on very well. This is Hosting Stories KE, and in today's episode I want us to talk about this upcoming Australia protest, the March for Australia. The Australians are dubbing it as Take Australia Back, or March for Australia. It is scheduled to happen on the 31st of August, which is this Saturday. I posted a video talking about the same topic a few days back. I received a lot of negative comments from the people of Australia, and also a lot of positive comments from the people of Australia. In that video, we were talking about this same march, and in that video some people are saying this is not just about marching for Australia. It is marching against immigrants. It is marching for racism. It is marching because the people of Australia don't want immigrants into their country. But the people in the comment section were saying, who are Australians, were saying, no, this is not just about immigrants. It is about ourselves. It is about us, the Australians. We are marching because these immigrants are taking up our place. They don't respect our culture. They are taking up our houses. We Australians, we don't have enough housing programs because of these immigrants. We are marching because some of them are even burning our flags in front of us. We are protesting because we want the government to limit the amount of immigrants coming in this country, because they are taking up our place. They are all over the place. They don't respect our culture. They are making high cost of living they are increasing the high cost of living in our country. They are making it difficult to exist as Australians in our own country because they are all over the place. And in this video of today, I want us to look into the same Australians' reactions now. What they had to say about this topic. Why are they marching? What specifically triggered them to march? What is it triggering them to march on the 31st? Is it the housing crisis? Is it the high cost of living? Is it the immigrants? Is it a racial march or what is it? I want us to engage in this video. Let's watch this video together, and I really need to know what are your thoughts on the comment section. What do you think about this 31st March for Australia or Take Australia Back? Let's watch this video together, and then I'll be giving my comments at the end.
That's our best and brightest right there. I have many questions about this. In case you've missed it, there are calls to have a big old protest on the 31st of August. What for? Australians. Just Australians protesting for Australians. To take our country back. From whom? Nobody knows. To defend our way of life. From what? Nobody knows. To defend our culture. What culture? No, that's a serious question though. Could you just let me know what culture? The one question I don't have is who is organising this, because we already know. It is a white supremacist neo-Nazi group. Yeah, neo-Nazis. So anybody that wants to come and march for Australia, you're actually marching with Nazis. That's a choice. My first question is, are police ready? I'm actually super excited for them because this is going to be their time to shine. Cops and the government and the media in this country are obsessed with anti-Semitism. I mean, they've been coming to anti-genocide protests for 2 years, just wishing for some rampant anti-Semites. And what they have found is just large groups of Jewish people also marching against a genocide. And it's been very anticlimactic and disappointing for them. Really hasn't helped their narrative that it is a massive problem that needs to be addressed at the highest levels. But here you go. There will be actual, literal, neo-Nazi anti-Semites marching proudly. I cannot wait to see how many arrests you make. My second question is to the people who are going to march. Because you see, a march, a rally, a protest is usually for a problem, something that needs awareness, something that needs action. When it's a nationwide protest, that usually means you're directing this towards the government. You want the government to do something, and I am not ever going to tell anybody that you shouldn't protest the government because they suck. So go ahead. But this is the thing. You want them to stop mass immigration now. The government agrees with you. They're on board with this. They're not into mass immigration. They never have been. They're definitely not planning mass immigration in the future. Australian immigration policy is actually kind of barbaric. And in fact, the Labor government has just reduced immigration levels, particularly skilled migrant visas. They reduced that by 5,000 places over the next 12 months. So they're like on board with what you're saying. Of course, it depends on what you mean by mass immigration. Do you mean any immigration at all? Because that's a different issue. We need immigrants. So the largest group of immigrant visas available in Australia is skilled migrant visas. They are specifically to address skill shortages in the Australian workforce. Did you know that 50% of Australian doctors are skilled migrants? They came here fully qualified, ready to go, ready to take care of you. And part of the requirements of their visas is that they come and they work in regional Australia first, which, as we should all know, doctor availability in regional areas, huge issue for Australia. So thank God for the immigrant doctors. Our nursing workforce is also 40% skilled immigrants. But even with the skilled migrant healthcare workers, we still have chronic shortages across the system. If we cut all immigration, our healthcare system alone would just collapse. So you would turn up to the hospital and there would be nobody there to take care of you. Remembering, these people aren't taking jobs from Australians, they're taking jobs that there are no Australians to fill. So unless you are marching directly into medical school, we really need them. I have also seen people mention that this is because of the housing crisis. And you know what? If you want to protest the housing crisis, I'll come with you because it's a real issue. It's not the immigrants' problem though. You do know that, right? It is government policy that has made it possible for very wealthy people to amass property portfolios that makes it impossible for people to enter the housing market. We have enough dwellings in this country for everyone. It's just that the really, really rich people own a lot of those houses. They then leave a lot of those houses empty because that's a better tax break for them, which means there's less availability, which pushes the prices up and nobody can enter the housing market. It's not other working class people that are causing your problems for you. It's the very wealthy elite. And if you want to protest against them and the government who makes policy that allows them to just keep getting richer, they take everything from our land, they pay no taxes, they pay you shit wages, they're the ones responsible for making your lives miserable. If you want to protest against them, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yes, let's take Australia back from the billionaires. I will even wave a flag if you need me to. Although, I'm going to wave this one, just so you know. I know this doesn't really feel like your vibe, but you did say any flag that represents Australia. Protesting against the billionaires and the government? Let's go.
Welcome back, Australia. Today I want to talk about things that we're marching for on the 31st of August, things that are near and dear to me, and things that are near and dear to a lot of other people that I've been talking to over the last couple of weeks as well. I've actually printed them out, so that way I just want to follow from top to bottom, in no particular order of like which one's priority, but just things that I've been noting and things that I've been prepared and getting information on. So when we march, we can talk about this as a collective community on the 31st of August. Doubled land taxes. We are taxed on everything. It's got to stop. Our weak justice system, the justice system is not designed to protect the innocent. Our justice system is protecting the offenders, and that's all around Australia. Freedom of speech, okay? Freedom of speech should be for everyone, but lately freedom of speech is only censored for people like you and myself that represent the everyday Australian. If you come from a minority group, you're allowed to say what you want, you're allowed to say what you feel with zero repercussions. I go out there and say I'm a proud Australian, all of a sudden I'm labelled racist. Come on people, we've got to change that shit. The cost of living for the everyday Australian, cost of living is through the roof. Families can't afford basic necessities, while people out there that are earning millions of dollars and getting away with, you know, tax fraud and stuff, they're living the high life. It's got to stop. More support to our farmers. Our farmers are the backbone, and we should be, instead of pouring millions of dollars in aid overseas, how about we pour that aid into helping our farmers, which then goes straight back into supporting us. Let's look at home first, people. The constant bailout options for offenders and re-offenders. Everyone knows that if they offend, they're getting out on bail. They're off re-offending before they've even had their bail heard. You know, like, it's ridiculous. The justice system is it's a rotted system. Adult crime. Okay, it's got to go hand in hand with that justice. Stop mass immigration. Okay, we need to sort our own borders out first before we open our borders up to anyone else. We need to make sure the people that are living here have got a roof over their head and food on their table. Once we've achieved that, by all means, open our borders back up again. It's not being racist, it's being practical to look after our own yard first. Infecting our schools with this constant gender crap, okay? How can we expect kids that are still learning to tie their shoelaces how to make decisions that are going to alter their body for the rest of their life? They don't need to worry about if they're a boy or a girl. They just need to worry about being a boy or a girl and have fun. You can shove your digital ID system straight up where the sun don't shine, because we don't need it. We are already heavily policed and over-policed.
I think it's crazy how on August 31st, white Australians are marching to protect Australia and to take Australia back, as if they weren't immigrants. You know, as if their ancestors weren't immigrants. As if they don't have a shared history of being colonized by Britain with other countries such as India, Pakistan, all that. Like, sorry, but if UK immigrants and US immigrants are allowed, then all immigrants should be allowed, because at the end of the day, this march isn't about immigrants in general. It's about immigrants with skin color. Immigrants who do not look like this. And I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. Because the only people who have any right to tell anyone to go back to their own country in this country is the Indigenous people, the First Nations people, whether they have melanin in their skin or they are white skin like me. Yeah, part of the stolen generations, the second ones. So, all those people marching for Australia, for Australian culture, why don't you go back to your own country? If your culture, which is all a bastardization of English culture anyway, is so important to you, go back to your own country. Go back to your ancestors' country. Half the population these days are at best second generation Australian citizens. Okay, their grandparents At best, their great-grandparents were immigrants. And a lot of the Irish and Scottish immigrants were slaves. They weren't just prisoners, they were bought slaves of Britain. So why don't you go back to there if it's so important to you? Sorry, is what it is. And if you don't like multiculturalism, don't go to Mexican restaurants or Chinese restaurants or Japanese restaurants. You can't eat sushi, even the Australian version of sushi. Like, I'm eating Indian right now. I'm eating butter chicken. You can't have that. Sauce was bought in Coles. Can't have that. Done by immigrants. So, sorry. But if you're going to complain about immigrants, you're going to complain about multiculturalism, then anything to do with immigrants, whether it was made by immigrants, whatever, don't do it. You're not allowed to participate in it. You're not allowed to partake in it. It's as simple as that. And if you don't believe me that multiculturalism has been a thing in Australia since before it was founded, I invite you to go back to the gold rush era in history. Guess who was there? Chinese, Japanese, some Indian, some Islamic people. Australia has been a multicultural country since before Australia was even a country. And I'm sorry, but if you want to go around saying that you're better than immigrants, well then, how about you understand the fact that, unlike Australia, India celebrates their own Independence Day because, unlike Australia, we have broken off from Britain. They've broken off from Britain. Sorry. India is no longer a British colony. Australia still is. That's why we still have the Union Jack on the flag. And that's why for the first half of Australia's history as a country, the Australian flag was nothing but the Union Jack. Why? Because they were seen as England. Now we're just seen as an English colony in the Commonwealth. So we're not even our own country with our own culture. No. We are a bastardized culture of English culture with the English flag on our flag. And unlike some of the nations where some of our immigrants come from, we still are a British colony. So check yourself, check your history, and shut the fuck up.
On the 31st of August, far-right groups will march to take back Australia. Take it back from who? From the people who built it? Right now, 31.5% of Australians were born overseas, and almost half have a parent who was. That's not a threat. That's why our food, sport, music, and ideas all punch above their weight globally. They'll tell you this is about immigration, but the real fight is about who gets to define Australia. They want it small, closed, and frozen in the past. We know it's bigger, braver, and built by people from everywhere. So on August 31st, ask yourself, are you marching for Australia's future or against it?
Well, as you can see, what they're telling us, some of them are saying positive things, some of them are saying negative things. But the question is, you are taking the country, you're taking back Australia. People are asking, taking back Australia from who exactly? And others are saying, if you say take back Australia, it means taking back Australia from immigrants. These people don't want immigrants into their country. It's not my comments, it's their commentaries. They don't want Australians, they don't want immigrants in their country. They believe immigrants are making life hard in Australia. They are making they are increasing the housing crisis. They are making high cost of living in Australia. The government should reduce the number of immigrants every year. I saw another comment telling me at least 15,000 immigrants go to Australia every month, and I was therefore asking, but there are still some Australians in the country. If they really are marching because of these immigrants, then this is to say tit for tat. The other countries should also march against Australians, of which it won't be a great thing. But now, if at all it is about immigrants, I think the government of Australia should do something about this. If the people are complaining, so the power belongs to the people. If the people are saying, oh, we are marching against these immigrants, it's not that we don't like immigrants, but at least reduce the number of immigrants that are coming in our country. If that is really, really true, that the Australians are marching for, then the government should really do something. But if they are marching like a racial march, they don't want the Palestinians in their countries, they don't want immigrants anymore in their countries, then that is to say they are not even supposed to step in other countries if they don't want other people from other countries to come into their country. But again, if it is against the housing crisis, then they shouldn't attack the immigrants. They should attack the government. The government of the day is to be blamed because the government oversees the things that are happening in our country. And that country, if there is a housing crisis, then they should really, really do something so that they can give the people of Australia proper housing. If that is what they are marching for. And if really they are marching against race, I think it is very challenging situation, because if you don't want someone in your home, then you are not supposed to visit other people's home. That's just the point. But at the end of the day, as they are calling it March for Australia, we will just wait and see. We'll just sit back, wait and see if truly they are saying they are marching for Australia, and if there will be a good outcome on this protest that is going to happen. Because if they tell us march for Australia and they are not going to march, then all these campaigns that they're doing online, it will be useless. If they're really targeting to march for their country, then we expect to see a positive outcome and a positive feedback for this protest. And again, who are the organizers of this protest? Because some are saying neo-Nazi, some are saying private organizations, some are saying they hate immigrants, so they are just waking up and march against immigrants. But I believe if truly these people, these Australians, are marching for their country, we expect the government should listen and the government should provide solution of the same very problems they're talking about. Because as you have seen the people's reactions, I just want you to tell me in the comment section, what are your thoughts on this episode? What are your thoughts on the Australian marching on the 31st of August, dubbing it as marching for Australia or taking Australia back? Do you really think they are taking Australia back? And if they are taking Australia back from who exactly? I don't want to conclude, but from who exactly? March for Australia. Marching for Australia, yes, but for what reason? For what reason are they marching? If you are an Australian, I really believe you will break this ice in the comment section and tell us, what are you marching for? At least give us a reason why you are marching. Maybe you can support you guys. Maybe you can say, they are making sense. They are taking their country back, but from who? They are doing this for their country or for what reason? And if you are new here, also remember to subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next episode. Adios.